Hi, it's Roberta with Quilt Crafters Corner. Today I want to talk a little bit about backing. Now, I have just finished the wolf quilt and I will show that to you after I get it quilted. But right now I'm working on putting the back together for it. So I thought this would be a really good time to talk about backings. The quilt itself is 59 inches across by 76 inches long. So I know my backing needs to be about 6 inches wider and 6 inches longer. And I like to give myself 3 inches. Some people like to give themselves more. And since I will be putting this on the long arm, I will have, I'll have to be careful of how big I make this. So some of the backs that I make are out of 108 inches wide backing material, which is, that's the easy way. If you have that available to you, or if you're going to, make something bigger, then yes, by all means, use the bigger backings. But if you want to put something together, and I usually do piece my backings. So let's take a look at something that I've pieced a while ago, and it has been quilted, but I just kind of want to show you some tips and tricks to make it easier for you to piece backings if that's what you want to do. So this is a backing that I've made, and it is a it's been pieced, as you can see. The back itself is, runs this way. I do not like, when I put this in the long arm, I do not like to have my my seams going vertically. I prefer them to go horizontally. So when I put this in the frame, I put it in the frame this way so that I knew this seam was going to be straight across. I do this for two reasons. One, you can kind of, as you're rolling this onto the leader of the long arm, you can get a nice straight line as far as lining everything up. So that's one reason. The other reason I don't like the vertical seams, as you're rolling this onto the backing, it's a bulge here. It starts to add up. And in worst case scenarios, when I do have to do that, I will open this seam. I will iron this seam open to reduce that amount of bulk going on to the leader of the long arm. So this is a really good example of, piecing and putting together backs. The other thing I like to do, especially if I'm going to be doing this, a particular quilt for somebody, I will put the label somewhere in this section or somewhere on the edge here. And the reason why I do that is because once the label goes in and it's quilted over, it cannot be removed, it cannot be cut out. It's here in the middle of the quilt. They will have it forever. It's a really good way to keep putting your labels somewhere in the middle, and it keeps it off the corner. You don't run into it's going to get cut off in the end. So yeah, this is a good place to put a label. I also like to show you, this is a bolt I have of 108 wide fabric, and as you can see, it's folded twice. So this is a good option, especially when you're making those big quilts. And it's not that much more expensive than just regular fabric. And I know Joann's carries it, and I know there's several places online that carry it also. So 108 wide fabric is really nice, especially if you're making a king size quilt. But this fabric in particular is for a king size quilt, but it's 120 by 120, so I actually have to make this bigger. So that's one thing that I will be working on too, is making a back for that particular quilt to show you. So let's get on to the wolf quilt. This is the fabric that I have for the back of the wolf quilt that I'm going to put on the back. Now this is just 44 wide fabric, so I actually need to extend this and make it bigger. So I have enough here to take my selvages off and then cut this in half, and I will sew this so that it will run 88 long. But I do need to add some fabric to the end here, or to both sides, to make this longer. I have, like you saw in the last green quilt, I put it down the middle. I think with this one I'm going to put it on both sides to extend it. And what I'll do is, I'll sew this together, then I will take my dark gray here and put a border on that side and a border on the other side in order to get it big enough so that I can, or wide enough, excuse me, it needs to be wide enough for my quilt, which is 60 by 76. So that's what I have for you today. I want to thank you for watching. And quick tip, if you send your quilts out to a long armor, give her 6 inches. Give her 4 to 6 inches on each side. Here, top, bottom, both sides. It just makes it easier for her to place your quilt if she has enough room. The other thing is don't be afraid to piece your backs. Make them bigger, because these, whatever gets cut off here, I just use that for either scrap quilts or cut them into 2.5-inch strips. It could be used for binding. It could be used for a lot of different things. Don't be afraid to make your backs bigger. So that's what I have for you today. I will see you on Monday. We will be doing another block. I want to thank everybody for watching, and also I want to thank you for all your comments. And if you haven't joined the swarm, please come join the swarm. Hopefully we're going to have the new camera set up and everything running this afternoon or tomorrow. I'm hoping to get something up there in the swarm for you so you can kind of get a feel of how things are going to change. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all on Monday.